Most people roll into the Seder and they know this part. So then what's the point? We have to delve deeper to understand what's really going on. Every moment has a theme, and every nuance matters. And when you go through it, you come out a different person. So that's what we're going to explore together. The themes, the lessons, the reasons, the purpose. Because that's what this is really all about. Okay. The Haggadah pivots again. And this time brings up a new area. Now, interesting. It's almost lahavdil, like a boxer, circling around every angle, right? Who, when, how. Now we're up to this point of, when should we be able to say, Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim? Now, I don't understand the question even, right? Like, today, I don't know, we're doing it. Let's just keep on, let's get to the story. We're not even at the story yet. We've been talking for a long time. We're not even at what's called Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. And the Haggadah pauses and says, you could have thought that you get to say it's Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. You know when? Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Yachol mi Rosh Chodesh. Taman Lomar Bayomahu. No, well, you can't because it's Bayomahu. Well, what's Bayomahu? The day they left. Bayomahu Yachol mi Vodio. Maybe we do it during the day. No. Taman Lomar Bavur Zeh. What's Bavur Zeh? Oh, Bavur Zeh lo ela amarte le b'shash yesh matzah or more menachem lefanecha. So the Haggadah just pauses and says, you could have thought this whole thing tonight could have been done in Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Nah. Then you would have thought it was a day. Nah. It's actually in the night. Okay. Why are we telling this to me for? So let's go pull back. What is it about Rosh Chodesh? Now understand something. The Jewish people are in Egypt. 210 years. Hashem shows up. They're 9 plagues in. 9 plagues. At the goal line. Hashem speaks to Moshe and Aaron. Now, if you were writing the script, you'd be like, final instructions. Get ready to go. He gives them Korban Pesach. We'll talk about that when we get to the Pesach part. Hashem teaches them the first ever mitzvah. Now, there is Matan Torah coming up, which he knows, of 10 commandments. There is 613 mitzvahs in total. No one's more important than the other, as far as we know. But Hashem somehow, for some reason, pulls out one and says, I want to teach you about, out of all mitzvahs, if you had to pick the number one mitzvah, what would be the mitzvah that he starts with? It's Rosh Chodesh. What's the mitzvah? The mitzvah is that the month, unlike the sun, the moon renews itself every month. And we have a mitzvah to Mechadesh the Chodesh, which means we can see the new month and declare it Rosh Chodesh. We can establish the months. Which means if a farmer from the north of Israel rolls down, so to speak, and says, by the way, I was on a hilltop and I saw a sliver of the moon, and the Beis Din says that is the moon, they'll declare that day Rosh Chodesh, and the new month will begin. If he doesn't see the moon, they may not do that, and then the month may begin the next day. The Beis Din has the ability to say, we have to align the moon and the sun, so the spring, Pesach always has to be in the spring, we're going to add an entire month. Really amazing. Hashem teaches that law first. Why? So the moon is really important. But I heard a beautiful idea, and actually, the Shamshon Hirsch has a whole piece on this, which I encourage you all to read. I got this a little bit from him. If it's something that's a little too modern, it's probably me, and if it makes any sense to you, it's for sure him. But I recommend looking at his piece in this area. So the moon is very symbolic of the Jewish people, as he says. The moon it waxes and wanes, strong and weak. And even when it feels down, it really gets up. And when it becomes up, you have to be careful it doesn't go down. Very fundamental. But there's something even deeper, I think, that he touches on. When I was in the law firm, there was this young associate that was my age. Great guy, a little older than me. He was a Marine before he came. And somehow, one of the best top partners took a liking to him. And the partner ended up leaving, and asked him to join his law firm. So this young guy ends up becoming a 2-person law firm with this massive, incredible partner, which is very, very, very chashuv, very, very important. So we were catching up about a year or 2 after he left, and I said, what's it like? And he goes, it took about 6 to 8 months till I felt like I was his partner. I said, what do you mean? He says, when I first started, he said I was his partner, and the door said it was his partner, but I wasn't his partner. I was it's a second-year associate. He's like this big partner. I'd run around after him. I'd be taking the note, whatever. He ran around, got all the clients, did everything, and I just followed him around. So yeah, I was his partner, but It goes, and then about 6 to 8 months in, I had a potential client, and I was trying to schedule him, and I couldn't figure out how to get this because I couldn't. He's this big star. I can't tell him what to do. So he walks in my office and he goes, "When are you gonna bring in the client?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to get a calendar." He goes, "Listen, wherever you need me to be, just tell me. I'll be there." I'm like, and the guy's saying to me "For real?" He goes, "Yeah, I trust you. Tell me where to be, and I'll be there." He goes, "At that moment, I realized I was actually his partner. He's a lawyer. You know what he has for a living? Time. And he's telling me, I trust you to control my time." What is the whole purpose of Yetzias Mitzrayim? Why are we even doing this whole thing? Because Hashem saved us? Is that it? This whole night is about we were in jail and somebody broke us out? Really? A lot of nations got saved. A lot of people get saved. A lot of salvation happens across the world. No, this isn't about salvation. This is about partnership. Hashem chose us. We've been talking about this before. We're on mission. We're partners. Now, clearly, Hashem is us. We're a piece of Hashem. We're not separate from Hashem. Remember, Lechem Oni. But Hashem Kiviyachol says, I want you to be my partners in creation. Which is the whole beauty of Shabbos. How do you know? Yachol mi Rosh Chodesh. You know how you know? Hashem says, I'm giving you control over the months. Which means that if you decide that Rosh Chodesh Tishrei is on a Tuesday, 10 days after Tuesday is Yom Kippur, and the world is going to be forgiven on Yom Kippur. That means I, Hashem, is going to change the entire world upside down on the day that you determine. I thought it was the next day. You're telling me it's this day? You got it. You determine that Nisan starts here, the day of Pesach, where the whole Palmalia Shamal, the whole angels show up. You know when I'm going to tell them to all show up? When you determine when it's going to be. You want to add an extra month? They'll wait a month. You'll tell me when we're going to bring the Korban Pesach. You'll tell me what to do with Sukkot. The entire spiritual world is built, so to speak, in part on what happens every month. You're going to determine where I need to be. Partnership. That's why we left. That feeling of Hashem saying, you are now, as Rav Shamshel for her says, your time is not being controlled by Egypt no longer. You're in control of your time. You're a partner in your time. You tell me where to be. Now, there's, so to speak, everything Hashem, obviously, right? He's letting us. It's we're pretending we're driving to be real. Now there's the sun, which he's always in control of, right? You can't change the sun. Shabbos is always on 7th day. You can't change Shabbos. Then there's the holidays. The partnership. Yachol mi Rosh Chodesh. Maybe you can say, Hashem is saying to us, once you got Rosh Chodesh, you know we're real. It's partnerships. Maybe at that point we would say, we're ready to go. We can do Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. Because now we know why we're on mission for. We realized we were partners when he gave us Rosh Chodesh. And so when Rosh Chodesh comes and we remember that you made us partners, we can sit around and do the Pesach Seder because we're only doing this because of our partnership, because we're trying to change the world. Maybe the Haggadah is coming in to say, you used to have your time controlled by the Egyptians. We pulled you out of that. But it's deeper even. Remember, Yachol mirosh Chodesh. There was a hava amina. There was a consideration that you would have Seder night on Rosh Chodesh. Do you know why? Because God himself is giving you the power to control the time, to control his influence on the world, to control the spirituality. You can control when the judges of Shemayim sit for Rosh Hashanah. You control Yom Kippur and Sukkot and Pesach. You control Shavuos. When I gave the Torah, you're controlling that. It's serious. This isn't a joke. You're part of this nation. Breathe a drop of pride. It's the theme of Pesach Seder. Sit up taller. Look who you are. Look at the power that Hashem infused in you. You're a partner in this. And we're sitting here before we even get to the story and realize that Hashem has faith in us. That maybe we should have faith in ourselves. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for this series. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that it enhances your Seder and brings you closer to Hashem. We have some cliff notes for you in case you want a Seder companion. You can download it. Check out the series and the downloadable stuff at pesach.us. pesach.us. And hope you have a great holiday, and may we see the full redemption soon.